Welcome to Quantum Lucid. Today we are going to talk about the multiverse again, and this time we're going to talk about divergence. Divergence is a term that means splitting of worlds into many other worlds. It is based on the concept or theory of multi-worlds or many worlds. Like I discussed in the previous videos, if you take one decision, all the other alternate decisions that must be there diverge. Meaning, if you had eggs for breakfast this morning, but there is another you who didn't eat breakfast. There is another you who had toast and coffee instead. There is another you who went out for breakfast. There is another you who had oatmeal for breakfast. There is another you who is currently in the hospital eating hospital breakfast. And so on and so forth until infinity. That is the idea of divergence, meaning the same thing but different versions of it. Hopefully by now you are starting to understand what versions of others means. I am going to debunk a few things that are extremely confusing and misleading in this manifestation community. A version of a specific person or thing does not mean this or something better. It does not mean a look-alike. It also does not mean a loving or kind side of them, as opposed to the angry or hating side of them. Although it can be, but it is truly not what the definition is. The reason I bring this up is if everything is possible and I am or God or consciousness is unlimited and infinite, then how do you meet a person again who has physically died in your current focused experience? You do that through your awareness, which is your belief systems, your truths that we talked about, your assumptions. They are still alive. We were hanging out the other day. Oh, they were only a little sick and were in the hospital, but now they are better. That should be the line of thinking. That should be your assumptions. Your assumptions and your line of thinking should not be asking a million questions on YouTube among limited coaches and limited community members who don't believe such a thing is possible. If someone does not believe everything is possible, and does not teach you the ropes of how to make it possible for your individual experience, then that is not the place for you to look for your answers. Everything must be possible, but, and the but is not to scare you, it depends on your conviction, your assumptions, your beliefs, your truths about how the world works and what is going on. If you believe there is a multiverse and there are versions of every person physically living in parallel, non-intersecting realities, if that is how you view the world. If you believe someone who has died now is going to come back to life, that is not going to work, because your first assumption is that they are dead. Do you understand? This is the way for you to grasp how clear your thoughts and assumptions around the subject need to be. You cannot and will not objectify a world physical experience of someone being alive if your first assumption and belief is that they died. However, if your first assumption and belief is that they are alive and well, etc., then you can continue your line of thinking. Whether circumstances and demonstrated physical facts are in your way, it doesn't matter. The reason it doesn't matter is because you know your assumption is the one that is going to harden into fact. And then the displayed 3D circumstances will possibly just either vanish or disintegrate or get some kind of explanation that will explain them away as unrelated stuff. Anyways, so in order for you to understand multiversal divergence, I want you to always think of it that way. If you exist everywhere and all possibilities exist, and there is a version of you in every three-dimensional world, living, breathing, and enjoying the life of your dreams physically, then what is it that is stopping you from experiencing that life? It must only be your awareness, which is your beliefs, your assumptions, your truths. Once you get a hold of that, it should become easier for you to manifest anything and everything you want to objectively experience. Because if divergence is real, in terms of the multi-world concept, if you had eggs this morning with your specific person in the room and you both ate eggs, there's a version of you who also ate eggs alone, but not with your specific person. There's a version of you where you and your specific person went out for breakfast this morning. There are millions of possibilities. The one that you keep telling as your story is the one that you are going to focus into via your story, your assumptions, your truths, your beliefs, your awareness. Your awareness is a mix of the stories. The stories are what? The truths, beliefs, and assumptions. That is what focuses you into the you who is physically experiencing the life that they desire with the person of their dreams, etc. So if you had breakfast this morning with your specific person, then you had breakfast this morning with your specific person. However, if you say that no, physically they were not there, then that is what your awareness is. The more you tell the story that is your desire, that is where you will be headed. Keep in mind the circumstances or the displayed appearances around you seem very factual and final and permanent and free-willed. However, keep this in mind, you are not reporting the current circumstances or facts. You are making them up and creating them as you go along. Once again, you are not reporting on the circumstances or facts, but rather you are creating them and making them up as you go along. That creates the linear thread that allows for your objective stuff to come in. Yes, people have free will, but not in your assumptive awareness. In your reality. Your reality is really made up of your awareness of being, which is your truths, beliefs, your stories, your assumptions, etc. So hopefully these terms and definitions are coming together for you and you are finally starting to understand what all of this means. It only means that you are always in control of what you experience. If you feel that you are not experiencing what you want, you need to change the contents of your awareness, your beliefs, your assumptions, your truths, your stories. Yes, there is a specific person of your choice who lives the life of their dreams, but you can manifest that same person to be in your life in the way that you desire them to be. That in and of itself means there is not one same specific person, meaning it's never the same person. For example, let's take a celebrity example because this is going to be the easiest to explain. Say there is a very famous movie star that you want to be happily married to. But right now, in the 3D, it's a whole different picture that is painted. They are happily married with kids and they're extremely wealthy and they're impossible to reach. They're just a big shot movie star. What a version of them is not a doppelganger. If anybody teaches you that you're going to find somebody who looks exactly like them, but is just better for you in many ways, that is not a version. That is not what versions mean. Keep that in mind. Say you want that exact specific movie star to be your spouse. Your story and your assumptions must be in your favor of your desired end. If you are going to worry about inconveniencing people and taking away their free will and ruining their lives, you are not understanding how any of this works. The them who is happily married with their kids is going to be happily married with their kids. You can't affect that. We always see a sort of a play-by-play breakdown of things before they come into your objective life, such as they get divorced, etc., etc. That may be the story, but that does not need to be the story if you can choose it. Keep in mind divergence. If there is a reality where you are married, happily married to your celebrity specific person, then there is a reality where you never met your celebrity specific person, where they are happily married to whoever they want. These two realities are equally real and they do exist because they must exist. They are a part of infinity. You can't take anything away from infinity and you can't add anything more to it. Given this kind of reasoning, you must now know that there are no moral conditions against or for manifesting who and what you wish. If anybody is teaching you different, they are limited from their perspective, and it is up to you to see through that limitation and continue, or for you to understand this for yourself. Again, divergence. If your celebrity-specific person is married to you and you are happy together, there is a reality where your specific celebrity person is married to someone else and not you. There is a reality where your specific celebrity person never met you. There is a reality where your celebrity-specific person was never born. There is a reality where your celebrity-specific person is in fact a chef at your local McDonald's. There is a reality where your celebrity-specific person is your school teacher. There is a reality where your celebrity-specific person met you, dumped you, and went back to their spouse or girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever. And so on to infinity. These are all versions of your celebrity-specific person. They are not doppelgangers, and they are not aspects or sides of them that are good, bad, ugly, happy. These are actual physical versions who are unrelated to each other, and therefore they are considered not the same person. They are never the same person. See, your friend also wants to get married to your celebrity-specific person. Then they are going to experience it in their reality, which you will not ever experience. So if there is a reality where you are happily married to your celebrity-specific person, in that scenario, in that reality, in that timeline, your friend loses and does not get married to your celebrity-specific person. That will be the experience that you experience. But in actuality, your friend does get them and get married to them in another world. Equally physical and equally real and equally solid, just like this one, where another you might exist who loses to that friend of yours. So which you do you want to be focused and aware on? That depends on your awareness, contents, your stories, your assumptions, your beliefs, your truths, your definitions. Hopefully you're getting the picture of how this stuff works. You can have the experience where your friend gets married to that specific celebrity SP, celebrity-specific person, and you lose and you don't get to marry that person. But instead you live in a world sad, confused, and frustrated, and angry, where your friend wins them, but you don't. But you don't need to be aware and conscious of that you, that observer, that identity, that version of you. You can easily become focused on the version of you who is rather married to your celebrity-specific person, where you have always had it that way, where your friend loses or does not get your celebrity-specific person. But to do that, your attention and awareness must be on the end scene, the assumptions that favor your desired end, that only favor your story. You cannot be focused on others not having or having your celebrity-specific person. Your focus and awareness must be on you and your celebrity-specific person together, having breakfast, having dinner, going places, saying things to each other. Those are the contents of your awareness. Your awareness objectifies and materializes your three-dimensional life experience physically, individually. In order to experience the exact outcomes of your desire, your focus should be clean and clear, starting from I am that person who is and has all that I desire to be and have now. Then your assumptions that such and such celebrity person and me are happily married together. You don't have to force imaginations. You don't have to make 1,000 robotic affirmations. You just have to stay in that awareness that no, I am eating breakfast with this person. No, I did meet them yesterday. No, we did have this conversation. No, he or she does love me, etc., etc., etc. Yes, it seems very tedious and work heavy, but that is the way to fill in your assumptions, your truths, your beliefs. Your assumptions are nothing but a mix of truths, beliefs. Your awareness, is nothing but a mix of truths, beliefs, assumptions, and stories that you narrate day in and day out. Your constant focus should be on the stories and the end scenes. That's your focus. That is what decides your life experience. What is happening on the outside in the 3D and the circumstantial displayed world will continue to happen. That should not be incorporated into your awareness. That is irrelevant from your awareness. And sometimes and many times you will not get that exact explanation of how things formed around you. Maybe you will just meet your celebrity-specific person and it'll just be that they were never married and never had any kids with anybody. And you go to Google that or find that on the internet, you'll find maybe all sorts of celebrity tabloid fake news, or it'll be established that what you thought was true. Maybe the 3D will change, maybe it won't. But it will be real and true for you, and that is all that matters. There will always be a reasonable explanation to explain away certain things, and sometimes certain things will just vanish. And you have seen that and experienced that in many ways. But now you're doing it awake. You're awake in this waking dream. Again, go back to my videos on lucid dreaming and lucid waking. Your awareness of being, your focus, is what manifests. You don't have to worry whether it will bring you a general person or not. It may feel like that because it will always feel that the celebrity person is out there making their life on the internet separate. Yes, we are physically separate bodies, but when it means that nobody is separate from you, it means that nothing. This dream is within consciousness, within I am. Therefore, it is all a part of the program, the game. Again, the video game analogy, where the Sims characters are playing inside their house, they're living in the house, they're getting into fights, relationships, watching TV, answering phone calls, going on dates, getting married, going to school, going to work, earning money. All of that are individual, separate happenings and life experiences for the Sims characters, but all those characters, including the life experiences, the houses, the happenings, still occur within the game, within the computer, under your control and supervision, who is the player of the game. So hopefully these concepts are helping you understand how this all works and why it is simple and easy to grasp. There should never be confusion. You should never be arguing and crying and being in pain or suffering when it comes to understanding who and what you are, pure consciousness. All you need to do is worry about your awareness, your assumptions. Whether you manifest your specific person, SB, celebrity, whoever, whatever, is always up to you, because your awareness is what will tell you where you're at. If you get up from your affirmations and walk around and your first thought is, oh, I can't believe they're married to that person, then your awareness is not on track. Simple as that. Your assumptions are not correct. So hopefully this will give you an idea of how all of this works. Again, if you have any questions, please leave them below. You can join my community, Quantum Lucid, on Mighty Networks, and I will talk to you in the next video.